Hi, everyone, and welcome to Let's Get Visible, a podcast for business owners helping them to grow, have a sustainable business, and get more visibility online. I'm Dawes Brown, and I'll be bringing you SEO and digital marketing tips, as well as interviews and conversations with other business owners. So, let's get started. So today we are joined by Alexandra Serrano, a vibrant 28-year-old entrepreneur whose journey from corporate life to entrepreneurship is nothing short of inspiring. Just 2 years ago, Alexandra made the bold decision to leave her job and dive into the unknown waters of entrepreneurship. With no clear path ahead, her relentless spirit led her to not only launch one, but two businesses in the very same year, a cutting-edge digital marketing firm, and the revival of her family's cherished retreat center. Despite the challenges and steep learning curves, Alexandra's journey has been filled with invaluable lessons and immense growth. Today, she's wholeheartedly dedicated to enhancing the retreat center, focusing on team building, systemizing operations for seamless functionality, and consistently earning 5-star reviews from her guests. Leveraging her rich experience in digital marketing and real estate property management, Alex is poised to embark on a new chapter. She's eager to apply her accumulated knowledge and expertise in active investment and assist others in making wise investment choices. Alex is a testament to the power of dreaming big and overcoming obstacles. With a firm belief in making a significant impact on one person at a time, she is on a relentless pursuit of excellence and self-improvement. So welcome to the Let's Get Visible podcast, Alex.
Yay! Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What an honor to be here. I'm so very happy to be sitting here with you and have an awesome conversation.
Absolutely. And I'm so thankful that you're here. And where are you dialing in from today?
Well, I am from the island of Puerto Rico.
That's amazing. I even love the way that you say that, the ring to it. You know, when you say Australia, it doesn't quite have the same ring as when you say Puerto Rico. It's just so exotic and beautiful as you are. Thank you for joining. I know time zones means it's super late there, so I really appreciate you taking the time. And the first thing I want to dive into with you is to really take us back to when you launched your two businesses, as I mentioned in your intro. How did that all come to be? Like, what's the story or background behind that transition?
While I was at my job, just, I guess, the normal day-to-day work.
Yes.
I never considered myself, like, I always would tell myself, like, I don't have this employee chip. I am a leader, but I'm still an employee. And so regardless of it, before I started these two businesses full time, I started many businesses before, which I'm not going to say were a failure, but they were a lot of lessons learned that has led me now to where we are today. But I started an Amazon FBA business, back when. I bought a hot dog cart with my mom, and we would go there after work and we would sell just like quick food
Fast
stuff.
food. Yeah.
Yeah, like quick food at a university in Florida.
Yep.
Just we did a bunch. We did a bunch. I did crypto. I did like day trading. I was, kind of like all over the place trying to figure out where what was it? What is it? Because I've always been pulled to something more, if that makes sense, but never actually quite knowing what it is, and just like, okay, that's not it. Let's just keep going. And so it just came one day where I just felt like a hamster wheel, just staying in the same circle. and they had actually just promoted me in my job. And,
Wow.
everybody was ecstatic with me. My boss, when I gave them the news, which
Yeah.
was like 2 months in advance, she was like crying like a lot. And I'm
Yes.
like, obviously it's a lot of emotion, but I still knew this is something that I'm doing for me, because I know, like I said earlier, it was like this pull. So long story short, I knew something inside me was saying it was time. And to be
Yeah.
completely honest, and not that I advise anybody to do this, this is just my story. Um, I had no plan. I
Yeah.
had no idea what the heck I was doing. And I just said, you know what? I am not renewing my contract in my apartment. I am not staying here. I am just going to be an entrepreneur. That's what I said. And I quit my job and I moved to Puerto Rico, and there I was. And, it was a lot of figuring out stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what these past 2 years have been.
Yeah.
Um, it's been a lot of bruises and a lot of, at the same time, little diamonds and treasures that we've
And
also
wins.
found. Yeah,
Yeah.
like these treasures that we found, like we never thought or would have never seen before. So
Yes.
it's awesome. It's honestly just been an awesome journey.
Yeah. And I love that you share the realness of the
Yeah.
entrepreneur journey. It's not just waking up one day, making 10K a month. Like there's so much BS on the internet, right? And you see
Yes.
so many different things, whether it's videos or,
Mhm.
tutorials and things. And yes, they're there to motivate you. But I also think that persistence and going through, as you said, a few different businesses and opportunities, and really then coming to the place where you need to be doesn't happen the first time around. It
Yeah.
does take, yeah, that trial and error to really find what it is, that you're called to do and that you're supposed to do. And that's what this
Yeah.
podcast is all about. It's not about the unicorns and rainbows, but it's really about what happens as a female business owner, a male business owner, whatever your position or situation is. It's not always sunshine, and you're going to
Hmm.
go through
Nope.
those different
When it
things.
rains,
It
it
rains.
rains and it pours. So, yes.
I love that. I love that. And so now tell us a little bit. Sorry, I've just got this great big bit of hair stuck in my mouth. There we go. Now, share with us what your genius is and the type of impact or change that you make with your clients. So, doing that from, I guess, a digital marketing perspective, but you're also running, as you said, your retreat center. So, this could be sort of from different angles, I'm guessing. And please explore both.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about, I knew we were having this conversation. So just reflecting on these 2 years and what what I've what it's pushed me, I guess, to find myself. And I've realized that, I guess we can call it my genius or my superpower or whatever, name we want to call it. I have found that I simply just love to serve people.
Yeah.
And ever since I was, just younger, like in high school and middle school, I would volunteer to just go out to the streets and, do different type of ministry work, or, just different things.
Yeah.
And now with my businesses, that's how they started. It was seeing a need and seeing people specifically in need, that it was just to volunteer and help, because I don't like to see anybody in need. I don't like to see anybody, especially if I can help you. So that's kind of how I see is actually, um, just anybody that I encounter, I want them to be blessed pretty much, either by my knowledge, by my help, by some type of way that I can impact their life in a positive sense. Like I yeah.
Yeah, amazing. And so with the digital marketing side of things, is there a particular speciality in that? Because we know that umbrella is quite big. So what are some of the things that you do when it comes to digital marketing?
So specifically for that, I am I love my background in the sense of I am very creative. I
Hmm.
love the creativity part of the marketing world,
Yep.
and the agency world, but I also love the systems and the
Yes.
operational side of it. So what I've kind of found as my wiggle room, so to speak, is
Yeah.
right now our focus is on helping other business owners that are not savvy on the content editing, on the
Yep.
social media, and helping them to stay consistent in the exposure and just staying up to date because pretty much that's
Yes.
literally our day to day now.
Hmm.
Um, we're helping them with that creative part of it while doing it, I guess, systematically with strategies and consistency, scheduling, and everything. So it's like the best of both worlds for me
Yeah.
for what we do for them.
Amazing. And your retreat is based in Puerto Rico?
Yes, in the
Yes.
mountains.
Wow. And so what do you do there? Tell us a little bit about, yeah, about that work.
Okay. Well, it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. It's at the top of a map of one of the mountains of Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And it's mainly focused for churches
Yep.
or groups of people. We've serviced, businesses as well.
Yep.
But it's mostly for, when you go for the weekends, that's normally what they do. We receive them from Friday to Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And we have like this all-inclusive deal where you just come in, we take care of everything, like all of the cleaning, all of the food, which is delicious.
Yep.
And our retreat center is a little bit more boutique than what's the norm around here because ours have like AC, we have private bathrooms, like we're trying to get it to a next level. So when
Yes.
you're going to camp, it doesn't feel like you're going to camp. It's like almost a hotel, but not a
Yeah.
hotel kind of
Yeah.
situation where we're in. So yes, and so when we're there, we're literally serving people and what they how they leave when how they come in and
Yes.
how they leave just makes everything worth it. So it's a beautiful business. It's mostly, for churches, so it is more focused on like Christianity and a lot of people say that it's just a really blessed place to be at.
Amazing. Well, if
Yeah.
I ever plan one, you're the
Oh
first
yes.
person I'm going to call,
Oh
and
yes.
we'll be
It's
making it a
in
thing.
English,
Yes.
it's Mount Zion.
Wow. Okay, say no more. Say no more. It's done. We're putting it in the
Yes.
diary for 2025. Planning. It's going to be, yeah, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen.
Yes.
So one of the next things I wanted to sort of dive into with you is there a common myth that you'd like to bust through, whether it's, pardon me, in entrepreneurship or whether it's, in your industry specifically, anything that you can think of that you think, no, actually, that's not the way it works.
Um, hmm. I have many actually. I have a lot of popcorning going on in
Yeah,
my head right
good,
now.
good.
But I'll choose one
Yeah.
that I feel very strongly about because I have seen it like
Yeah.
firsthand in my business. I
Mm-hmm.
have seen it in other businesses and it's romanticized in a way like we said earlier in social media and just how things are now, where I want to say
Mm-hmm.
the most important thing that I've seen in my business has been the word of mouth and the referrals that you actually have a product or a service that
Mm-hmm.
people rave about. And
Yeah.
once they rave about it, it's like this magic marketing that happens that it spreads like powder, dust
Mm-hmm.
all over, which is probably the best thing that you can have. And the myth is yes, obviously, social media is important, your exposure is important, your consistency is important, your brand look is important. Like there is a lot of components
Yeah.
about your company and what you're doing that is important. But if when people come in through your door, when people get you on the phone, when people
Mm-hmm.
are interacting with your business
Mm-hmm.
and they get a subpar
Mm-hmm.
experience,
Yeah.
then you can just throw everything gasoline and just, you know,
Yeah.
blow it up.
Exactly. And it's
Because
like,
it,
as you said, the cover of the book doesn't match the contents inside. It's
correct,
like a
correct.
misplaced.
Yes,
I have to agree with you so much there because I
yes.
think we can create beautiful visuals, beautiful branding, have external people, really come in and they're very good at what they do. But as you
Mhm.
said, if your product doesn't really stand the test, it's not going to last. And
Yeah.
I'll add to that too. Like I've also had the instances very early on, probably not so much now, but early on in my business in the first couple of years, where people would actually, I will use the word, steal or take, aspects, whether that's your bio on your social media, literally copy and paste it, the content that you're sharing, the products and services, that you're offering, are literally mimicking everything. And what I found was they couldn't sustain it. It wasn't something that lasted because where do you go from there? Like if it's not from,
Exactly.
yeah, if it's not from you, and again, the front cover doesn't match, the
Hmm.
contents, it's only
Hmm.
going to get you so far.
Hmm.
And also word of mouth. Absolutely. That is one of the pillars, or
Yes.
foundations of having a successful business. And we will dive into visibility, of course, because it's the Let's Get Visible podcast. But gosh, referrals and word of mouth and really having an amazing service or product is what's
Yes.
going to give you that sustainable business because what is it that I call it? Snowflakes or glitter. There's a term I use. It'll come to me like at the end, I'm sure. But you can make something like super pretty, and
Hmm.
it's just not. Yeah, it's not going to last. So
Nope.
thank you for sharing that
Nope.
that myth and
Yes.
busting that with a great big hammer because I totally agree and relate to that one. And so, speaking of it not being rainbows and unicorns, what do you think has been your biggest business challenge and how have you been able to overcome it?
Hmm. My biggest business challenge. Well, if I can be completely honest, the biggest challenge was starting two businesses at the same time.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yes,
Yeah,
and just thinking about it in hindsight and thinking about, what I would have done differently and why I did it.
yeah,
Um, it was probably because I did not have a strategy. Like I said in the very beginning, I just
yeah,
said, I'm going to become an entrepreneur, whatever that means, and it's taken a lot of bruises to be where we are today.
yeah.
But at the same time, on the flip side of that,
Mhm.
to encourage anybody that is in my side of the boat that just loves to hit themselves in the wall and just no, but the wall is hard. Yep, I know. I hit myself a couple times. I know. um, is at the end of the day, I would not be the person that I am if I had not gone through that. If I had not understood the lessons and not knowing your market well enough, not doing your research well enough,
Yes.
um, you know, posting without actually knowing who you're talking to,
Yep.
not thinking about, who this person that's in their house, stressed from their day or whatever that they have going on, for them to share your content, for them to actually care the 2 seconds that you have, or 1 second, 0.5 seconds that you actually have while people are scrolling, or while people are in their car, or whatever situation. So
Yeah.
so yes, I believe, for me, was starting these two businesses because now I truthfully understand and can honestly say that it takes a lot. And when somebody has a business that you can actually see what they've built, it's like literally I want to give them a standing ovation, because I know the hard work. I know the long nights. I
Yeah.
know the tears. I know the wins. I know the breakthroughs,
Yeah.
everything that you have to build to
Mm-hmm.
actually get something. So it would never had started if I would never had listened to that pull. So
Yeah.
that pull is always what continues to keep me going forward. Whenever there's a problem, whenever there's something, it's like we just got to keep going. It's part of it.
Absolutely. And as cliche as it sounds, it isn't actually about the destination. It's the
Hmm.
journey that you're
Yeah.
taking to get there. And I
Yeah.
think we are living in a time where there's a lot of instant gratification, and a lot of businesses end up not succeeding or being sustainable because after 12 months, they're like, well, it's not working.
Yeah.
Next,
Yes.
next, and yeah,
Yes.
I've been there too. The
Yes.
number of times where I've gone, I'm about to jump off, I'm about to go back,
Yeah.
as you said, get that employee chip, and then
Yeah.
I don't have it either. So I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I just can't see myself doing that. But it's staying consistent and persistent, even when you're hitting those brick walls, you're covered in those business
Hmm.
bruises, and you're like, I'm getting back on that horse and I'm giving
Yeah.
this another go. They're the ones that end up with sustainable businesses, that end up succeeding. But it's not an overnight thing. And again,
Nope.
so much on the internet that sort of gives you that impression. Oh wow,
Yes.
someone went
I'm
from,
like,
and
no,
it's just not. And you
no.
sit there going, no, it's the iceberg, beneath the water. You can see like
Yes.
all the bits of it. I don't know if you've seen that meme
Yes.
or thing on socials, but it's like, yeah, the iceberg, there's so much that happens underneath, but people only see, oh, you've got, a podcast, oh, you've got an academy, oh, you've got this and that. And it's like, yeah, but I'm 7 years into my like business. Do you know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
wasn't something that happened
Yeah.
within the first 5 minutes. And I'm glad that
Hmm.
it didn't, because as you said, you've got to
Exactly.
learn, through the rivers and bushes, wherever you're going
Hmm.
through, to really understand what it is,
Yeah.
to run that business. So thank you for sharing that honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of
I'm
course,
just gonna I'm just going to add, it just
do
because
it.
it came to me,
Yeah, do it.
that I've chosen to see whenever that happens as a reference point. And it's like,
Yes.
for example, something happened, maybe it didn't happen the way that I wanted to go. I'm like, okay, now we know that this
That's
plus this equals this. So if we do this, then we got to get another, it can't be that because that's a reference point, or it
that's
should
it.
be that because that's the reference point. We can flip it to the other
Yes.
side as well.
Yes.
Um, so that's been part of the process. It's just a lot of mindset.
Mm-hmm.
I will say
Huge.
that has been uh absolutely, like, everything, absolutely everything.
Yes. Yes. And it directs your whole
So,
entire day. And yes, I call those the redirection points. So really, really similar.
mhm.
When something
Yeah,
doesn't go a certain way, that's my redirection point. It wasn't
there
meant
you
to
go.
happen because I'm meant to be going in, into a different direction. And I saw that actually happen in the last couple of weeks. And I was like, yeah, see,
Ah,
I'm being guided. I know what's going
yeah.
on here. Yeah, which is really lovely. So, of course, we're on the Let's Get Visible podcast. So, I do have to ask you, in the last couple of years, what have you really been doing from a visibility perspective in order to get your business and your message, out there to reach more people and to serve more people?
Um, well, to be honest, the main source right now where we get all of our leads
Mm-hmm.
and where we can connect with them is through social media, and
Amazing.
specifically the two accounts, Facebook and Instagram.
Yes.
Um, the market that I serve, which is around mid 35, 30s to 50s.
To my
It's
age.
mostly Facebook. It's
Yep.
mostly, like Facebook, Instagram, getting that. Now I'm starting to get a little bit more into TikTok because, I'm all about the figuring out.
Yes.
I love, to figure out stuff, I guess,
Yep.
problem solve. So I'm like, TikTok has been a problem for me. So I'm like, I've never been in it. So I'm like, let me just start messing around with it. And, I just started
Posting.
posting kind of the same videos and adding some other videos and just putting like funny music on non-edited
Yes.
videos and
Yeah.
just doing stuff to see what clicks. And then all of a sudden, one week, I forgot to log in. And when I
Wow.
logged back in, I had a whole bunch of messages. I had a whole bunch of like shares and this, and one of the
Wow.
videos did really, really good. And I'm like, and I got like 2 or 3 calls, and I'm like, how did you hear about this? Oh, TikTok. And I'm like, what?
Amazing. I've just jumped on the wagon as well. So I'm sitting here going, yes. So I'll be
So it
finding you
is
on
what it
there.
is. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
also told that to my clients. I'm like, hey guys, enough sleeping on it. It's time
That's
to get
it.
on TikTok. TikTok, like we can't, what I say, like we can't well, I know it in Spanish. I need to translate it to English, but you
Block it out.
can't
Yeah.
block the sun with
That's
the
it.
hand. You gotta make sure
Dive
that you're
in.
seeing the whole picture. So,
Absolutely. I will have to say that I really enjoy, the platform. I love the content on there. I think it's great. So I'll definitely
yeah.
be finding you and connecting on there as well. And of
Yeah.
course, I'll share your handles in show notes, so we will make sure our audience can connect with you on there too.
Awesome.
But what is one key tip or strategy that you'd be able to share with our listeners who are business owners that can really help them in their own business?
Well, I don't know if this is just me
Yep.
or if there is anybody else out there as that has struggles in the beginning of the entrepreneurial journey
Yep.
and realizing that, to me, one of my like key things in
Yep.
these past 2 years and that I know now is business equals team in a sense, meaning you don't have a business if you still have to do everything. If
Mm-hmm.
you don't have people that you can rely on,
Yes.
that it can still run
Mm-hmm.
without you, or that, you actually are building something bigger than yourself
Yeah.
that is not just, I guess, a freelancing that is
Yes.
where you kind of have to start, where I guess most of us start, where you're just trading your time, your services back for X amount of money or whatever. But when that becomes bigger than
Mm-hmm.
you and just that trade, when um, people join the mission, when there's more, I guess, hands on deck,
Yes.
then I believe that's when the true business starts to actually be born.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at. I am finally, for the first time, going to post my first. We're publicly hiring because I need staff
Yes.
for summer. So that's exciting. It's a different type
Amazing.
of
Yes. Journey.
time, but yeah, exactly. A
Mm-hmm.
different time in the journey. So yeah, I would say
Amazing.
team is huge.
Love that. Love that. Well, thank you, Alex, so much. Again, I know that it's quite late there on your side of the world, but I do appreciate you joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. I love your energy and your vibe. And yes, can't wait to continue our conversation. And as I said, we'll connect on TikTok as well. And I'll be dropping Alex's handles for social media profiles so that our listeners can connect with you on there as well.
Awesome. Thank you
Excellent.
so
Thanks,
much.
Alex.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for giving this show a listen, and don't forget to leave your feedback and rating. If you want to learn more about me or my services, please jump on over to letsgetvisible.com.au, where you'll find show notes and links to my social media profiles so you can connect there as well. Okay, well, that's a wrap for another episode. So I'll join you next time on the Let's Get Visible podcast. You know, man.